Conceptual Fruit, Thaisa Frank. Now this is a story based on the needs of differently abled children and needs of differently abled children in the sense the focus of the lesson is a differently abled child. But I feel it once again very clearly brings out the fact that technology can never replace the real world. The virtual world can never replace the real world. With respect to all of you, you are very familiar with the situation now. You see, you're seeing a teacher here on the screen now, but it's definitely not like us sitting together in a classroom. That is an entirely different experience. There are so many little things that happen in the classroom. You have this conversation. That's the human touch. Okay, that is what we miss in the virtual world. And that is what I feel this lesson highlights beautifully. It's about a differently abled child, and let's see how she relates to technology. Conceptual Fruit, Thaisa Frank. A reading. When he told his family about the site on the internet where you could create whole streets, his wife and son went on eating their pasta and artichokes. Only his daughter Greta looked up. I could buy a house on Pomanga Street, he said, and put as many rooms in it as I wanted. I could fill it with fruit and make my own library. Sure, Dad, said his son, who was 11. You could do that if you wanted to. So the son is pretending to be impressed with his father's achievements. His father can create a library or a garden or whatever he wants on the screen, okay, in the virtual world. His son already knew how to program computers but wasn't interested. These days he wanted to give away books and devote his life to karate. His wife ate the heart of the artichoke carefully. Well, he said. The thing is, she answered, I'm in front of a computer all day, and I like to spend the evenings in the garden. He understood she wasn't interested. Greta looked up from her artichoke leaves. She was arranging them in a swirling pattern in her bowl. You said there were streets. You said there could be fruit. These weren't questions. Greta often repeated whatever she heard. She'd worked hard to tie her shoes by age 10 and could read at 5th grade level, 5 grades below Joel, and though she was 16, she went to a special school. I want to see, she said. I'll show you, he answered. His wife and his son made eyes. He's at it again. He's getting Greta into it too. Come on, I'll show you where you can make up streets and bowls of fruits. Greta sat in his chair, and he sat next to her. Greta could type very slowly. By the time she left her school, she might be able to type fast enough to get a word processing job. No one knew for sure. There's this guy named Sam who set up this whole library of classics. He lives in Illinois, but he made this incredible place. Watch. He clicked into the program and was about to show Greta the collection of books when he saw her staring into space. You want something of your own, don't you? Yes, peaches and pears and artichokes. Do you want them in a house with bowls in a kitchen? Or maybe in a garden? He was already typing, creating a street called Greta's Street, a house called Greta's house. Why are you writing all that down? Because they are yours. They belong to you. Greta looked at the screen. Her blonde hair blended with her sweater. Her blue eyes were the only color in her face. I want a bowl in every room, she said. Peaches in the kitchen and living room and all the bedrooms. What about artichokes? Greta picked at her sweater. Something she did when she knew she hadn't gotten it right. She'd forgotten about the artichokes, and he was sorry he'd reminded her. "It's okay," he said. "We'll put peaches everywhere. Should the bowls be a color?" "Blue." He asked Greta how many windows she wanted, whether there should be a fireplace, and if there should be curtains. Greta chose 11 windows covered with sheer white curtains like the ones she had in her bedroom. "Okay, now the fruit," he said. "We'll start with the kitchen." He wrote Greta's kitchen and added, "Walk around. Help yourself to this bowl of fruit." "But where are the peaches?" "In a minute. Look, this is cool. You click under the bowl and see what happens." He shielded the screen for a moment and wrote peaches. "Try it," he said. "Just click bowl." Greta clicked bowl. The word peaches appeared. "It's just a word," she said to him. "Well, that's the idea, but you can see a picture of the fruit. I thought you could make real peaches." "No, you have to go to the store for those." You see the difference between the real world and the virtual world, very subtly introduced out here. You can see the picture on the screen, but if you want the real thing, you have to live in the real world. You have to go to a real store. "But these are just words." Well, yes. Then why do people like them? Because they remind them of what they stand for, like in your books. He created other rooms, asking Greta what she wanted: a kitchen, a dining room, a living room, a bedroom, a room for a cat, and one bathroom. No, not a bathroom, she decided. This isn't a real house, so people wouldn't use it. You see? Again, a very striking comparison between the real world and the virtual world. You know what the difference? He programmed bowls of peaches in every room. Now he said to Greta, "You click." Greta clicked and this time smiled when the word peaches appeared. It was a furtive smile, a smile she got when she pretended she understood something that made no sense. "There could be other fruit," he said. "There could be apples, pears, there could be flowers." "Sure," said Greta. "There could be anything." His wife was cutting blackberries in the garden and Greta was already sliding from the chair to help her. Sliding from the chair. So she is leaving the virtual world and she is going to the real world where her mother is, in the garden. Okay? So again, if you noticed, if you observe, there are very subtly mentioned but a very clear demarcation between the virtual world and the real world. Greta would never have a house of her own. She would live in a group house with other people like her. He hoped the house would be large and have sheer white curtains, billowing in all the rooms. He hoped it would have an orchard with fruits to put in real blue bowls. Apples, pears, peaches, whatever Greta wanted. That is what this father hopes for his daughter. From a parent's point of view, he is trying to create a virtual world for his daughter for the sake of her happiness, because he knows that she might never have a home of her own because she is a differently abled child, right? But even a differently abled child relates better to the real world than the virtual world. So that is what the writer is trying to tell us. I hope you enjoyed a reading of the story. See you.